In the first place, good evening. Many thanks. Many thanks, deep felt thanks for this kind invitation that I received, and I'd like to thank many of you, and in the first person, Professor Fallico, who gave me the possibility, together with Michele Collettieri. The Puglia region, as a matter of fact, has a long tradition. The city of Bari, as well, has a long tradition with the Russian Federation. Our relations rest upon the identity of two people that did meet again and were gathering around the Saint Nicholas figure. And around this Puglia, many years ago, we imagined that we could turn the Puglia region into the place of dialogue, economic dialogue in the first place, and definitely a dialogue of friendship between East and West. That's where we started dreaming that Bari could turn into the place where a meeting could be held, a meeting that was bridging up the divide with the East. And the Patriarch of Moscow, together with the Pope of Rome, are the owners and the proprietaries of the church in the name of Saint Nicholas. And one of the two churches had turned into a property of the municipality of Bari that was not wanted. It was an involuntary thing. And unfortunately, many Orthodox churches at the time of the October Revolution had been turning into political sections. And this is something that had turned possible also for Bari, something which was unfortunately a severe thing to be taking place. I must say that the embassy and its many exponents was always playing an extraordinary role from this point of view. That's how we could, thanks to the Italian government, that's how we could do something complex, even from the legal point of view, meaning that we could render back the Russian Church to the Patriarch of Moscow. It was sort of a wonderful holiday which was envisaged for the 6th of December. Then on the day when that was meant to happen, he unfortunately died, and Bari then was the first non-Orthodox city to grieve for the death of the Orthodox Patriarch. This is something which happened, and I think that we had built a bridge around what seems to be not only an economic matter. I know that business is following friendships, not conveniences. And I think that if you do not feel that you are taken charge of by the other and entrusted to the other, it's going to be hard to build an economic course and direction. This is what brought about success from the touristic point of view. And that allowed for some important export activities in the agricultural field to take place. So we did carry out some actual work, loyal work, I would say, with respect to our strategic allies. I know that we've talked about this with the American ambassador and many other outstanding personalities, and I was telling them that I was the evidence that the Puglia region turned into a place where it was possible to have a dialogue in moments of difficulties, in moments of hardship. And I believe that when you start saying things and these things are broadcasted live by television, you cannot deny them anymore. You cannot retreat anymore. So in the very moment when you go back to becoming the center for the international exchanges, and since you cannot say to the Russian Federation you cannot access anymore the Mediterranean, and I believe that in this way, you are seeking for something which is impossible to manage and to run. And we believe that it is possible to obtain results through sanctions, which, as a matter of fact, I wonder whether the mayor shares this, is going to be highly damaging, and they will be the first to be suffering for that damage. And having sanctions that damage you more than us, more than your opponents, is something which is very singular, very extravagant, I would say. I'd like to say that I'm pleased to hear that the Prime Minister called a spade last night. And I am convinced, since I did participate in many ceremonies, I had opportunities to get to know the Russian people. I did celebrate the anniversary of the Patriotic War, which is the war during which all of us were fighting them. And I do not remember any aggression wars led by Russians, fought by Russians, whatever their political regimes were. And I remember that on that day, when I saw that Bari was probably the first city that reacted against the Germans, a pilot of the Russian aeronautics, aged more than 90, hugged me in the name of anti-fascism, in the name of freedom. So the economic exchanges and peace can be granted, and this is what the city of Bari tried to do. And one of the things that were annoying mostly our Russian friends was the tendency of Italians to say almost everything and the opposite of everything. So it was sort of an agreement. Their culture is different. Their habits have to be respected, and this is what is leading to extraordinary results. I can count upon the friendship of the Russian Federation. Especially, I can count on the development of the work that was done and to its acknowledgement, because it's been recognized. And I know that all this, even the invitation I received today, I guess, is following the same direction. This is no rhetoric. This is the result of years of work that have become consolidated in a relationship based on trust. And at the center of all this, there is peace. The many reasoning, the many fora, and forums organized by the Russian Federation in order to explain its position are efforts and endeavors which are supporting their strategic interests and also the reason of peace. This is why I decided to be here.